Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so thrilled to have on incredible country music singer, songwriter, entertainer who has been traveling the world on tour and playing with some big artists such as Luke Combs, Lady A, Scotty McCreery. It is Tenille Arts. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You know, I wanted to get you on a few albums back, but you've been so busy,
Yeah.
you know, and on tour, and obviously you're constantly going back on the road.
Yeah.
But you've had some great hit songs coming out.
Thank you. It's been really fun. It's been like, you know, we had so much downtime. I was writing a ton of songs and finally got to put them all out last October. So it was good.
Well, and it's such an incredible album. I was listening to Girl, and I mean, the songs in there, it really seems like they came from your heart and like you're talking to a younger you.
Yeah, I mean, when I started writing, I really didn't know what direction I was going to go with this new music, but it just kind of ended up being that way. I was like, I know that there are things in my life that I haven't talked about yet, and I really wanted to reflect back on, you know, being 15, 16 years old, going through all the things, and I wanted to put all of that into my songs, and, you know, I'm a big sister, so I feel like it was almost like a big sister vibe for a lot of the songs. You know, giving advice, sharing my stories, while also talking to my younger self as well.
Well, and I've got to ask you, Tenille, I mean, what has been the response from your fans? Because you have like a ridiculous international fan base, I think like 750,000 followers. What's been the response with the music? And obviously several of these songs have been hit songs. You've done so well in the past few years, just kind of skyrocketing.
Thanks. I mean, yeah, the response to that album was so great. I mean, I think it came out at a time where people just needed music, you know, and so my fans, it was the same thing. Like, we had a virtual listening party and we were like all crying together and just like going through all of the emotions together, and it was just so great to finally be able to share that music with people, because I had played a few of them like over live streams and things like that, but to actually get to release it and to have that like special moment with my fans was so incredible, and they actually call themselves the Sweethearts.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it's really, really sweet, and yeah, they're awesome. I have like the best fans in the whole world.
Well, you know, and once again, I got to bring this up because, you know, being from Canada and you toured Canada and everything else, and growing up in Saskatchewan, easy for me to say.
It's hard.
And you've gotten like 8 awards since 2018.
Yeah.
It's like, at a point, do they just give you the key to the city?
I mean, I wish,
a street?
yeah.
How does this work?
I think they put you into the little Hall of Fame and just move you on. But I'm so grateful to have so much support from my home province. They've been so great to me, and you know, every time I go back home, there's people that I run into that have been there since day one, like when I was 10 years old performing in talent contests and stuff. So it's definitely so special to have so much hometown and home province support.
Well, you know, it's been so great watching your career over the years with your albums coming out and everything, and really you grew it naturally in Canada, you know, starting out, you know, singing at 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as a teenager, you know, with writing and performing, but you really grew your fan base just touring in Canada before you even came down to Nashville, right?
Yeah, I mean, I started coming to Nashville when I was about 15 years old, so it was kind of like happening all at the same time, you know, but I was definitely, you know, going to the Canadian Country Music Awards, which people probably don't even know like exist, but going all over the country and performing and kind of starting a little bit up there, and then came to Nashville and was just like, this is where I need to be.
Right.
You know, there's not really a music hub, a country music hub in Canada, so I just felt like I needed to be here and start working on things here.
But you were nominated for Juno Awards, and obviously a lot of awards here in the States as well. And, you know, Rolling Stone has you as one of the artists to watch. You've got YouTube notice. I mean, you've got a lot of great stuff going on just in the past 3 to 4 years.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of like dream come true moments in the last couple of years, and it's just, you kind of, you know, everybody, you make it to a milestone and you kind of move on. Like you just constantly moving, and sometimes I have to sit and think back and think like, wow, some of those things were things that I never thought would even happen, you know? So I have to pinch myself a little bit and remember just how cool some of this stuff is, and you know, going back and just like, you know, even looking on my Instagram like 5 years ago, I was nowhere even near the things that I'm doing now. So it's really special.
Well, and I think it's so amazing too, to where, you know, it's one thing to open up and share stages with huge artists, but it's another thing when you're the headliner. You know, that's got to feel good as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were just overseas and did a ton of headlining shows, and yeah, it was just, it's wild. I never ever thought, you know, I was like, oh, I need to be in Nashville, I need to be in the US, but I never ever thought that my music would make it that far. And yeah, we did these headlining shows and people are singing like every word back, and you're just like, how did you even get exposed to this music? You know, like social media and online stuff is just so powerful, and it's just really reaching all over the world. It's just so cool.
Well, and I think your streams, obviously your videos have done very well also. I had fun watching some of your videos and catching up, which obviously I knew your music and everything, but it's like stream-wise, I think you're at like 480, is it billion, or I mean,
million.
It's like ridiculous. I mean, even when I was on Spotify, you know, listening to all your music and everything, it's like the number of listens that you have on there with the streaming is just crazy.
It's wild. I mean, yeah, I look at that all, like sometimes, you know, I'm not constantly looking at it, but if I look at it and see, you know, I think on Spotify it's like 2.5 million monthly listeners, and I'm like, who are these people? Like, it's just crazy to me that people are listening to my music that much, and yeah, I get to like go out on the road and hear them sing words back to me, and that was like my dream. Or like the other night in Nashville, somebody recognized me, and I was just like, you know, 15-year-old me would be freaking out at the fact that somebody in Nashville was like, oh my gosh, you're Tenille Arts. Like, yeah, it's really cool.
And then when you go back home now too, it's like going, you know, everybody's so proud of you.
Oh, yeah, it's really, really fun. I actually got to do a show in my hometown, which is Weyburn, Saskatchewan. And I got to do a show there, I think a month or so ago. And it was just, it looked like a crazy like festival. Like so many people came up. I was like, there's only, you know, 10,000 people in the town, and I was like, I looked out and it was almost like they were all there. Like it was so cool. It was like a sold out show, and I got to just see so many people that have been there, you know, since day one, and it's really fun to look back on that.
Well, and I was going to bring up also, you've been you know, playing acoustic and electric, and obviously you write and co-write so many of your songs, particularly on this past album as well. But you've been with Paul Reed Smith Guitars.
I have been, which is really cool. It actually started in a weird way because I found a PRS acoustic that I loved, and I bought a black one, and it was so awesome. Like I was like, this is the perfect touring guitar. And then while we were all quarantined at home, I ordered another one, and I bedazzled the entire thing. And I posted it on like TikTok and places, and PRS reached out and was like, this is so cool. And that's kind of like how our relationship started. So it was awesome. I was like, this is really cool to have like a guitar company who want to be a part of my career. Yeah.
Right. It's just now they're going to want you to bedazzle them all the time. You know.
I've made a few. Actually, we've done a couple of giveaways. You know, they'll send me a guitar and I'll bedazzle it and then give it away to fans. So yeah, it's really cool to have that relationship and get to, you know, work on their guitars, which are already perfect and fabulous, but they've really held up over time. You know, I've bedazzled them and people always get upset. They're like, oh, you've ruined the sound or whatever. But I'm like, it's really not that different. And the average ear couldn't hear it. So,
right.
Yeah.
And plus, you know, it's personalized for you.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Well, and I got to bring this up too, you know, besides, you know, working on guitars and playing those on the road with Paul Reed Smith, also with your merch, you know, you're not one to just have your average t-shirts and bandanas and koozies and mugs. No. Tenille has to go out and do artwork and paint and bedazzle jackets and shirts. How did this come about? I
mean, I just love doing it. It's kind of been like that little mindless activity that I get to do that's like kind of music related, but also like, you know, scratches that itch of being kind of artistic as well. So yeah, I just love doing it. I've done a ton of giveaways with fans of just like making jackets. Like we haven't sold them or anything, but I like to make them and give them away, and it's like a one of a kind special thing. So
like when you're working on these, are you watching like food programs also? I mean, is that, you know, to where you're merging favorite things?
Yeah, merging favorite things, always watching some sort of Netflix or something like that. Yeah, food related is always good. Love to watch people cook. So it's either that or The Office. I'm always watching like some kind of mindless TV while I do it.
And then do you have like an arts and crafts thing with you on the road? I mean, it's like, obviously you've got your guitar cases and your outfits,
yeah,
but then you have to have your artistic tub or something.
Yeah, I've got a kit, and it can come on the road with me. I've bedazzled guitars on the tour bus. Sometimes I get the band involved. I'm like, somebody help me. Like, if I'm like, writing out or need to like send a bunch of letters to people, I'm always like, can the band help me like put stickers on them and stuff?
That is so much fun.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like a group effort then.
It is, yeah.
It's like a bonding with the band.
Yeah, I don't know if they like it, but I like when they help.
It's like you can have a choice. Either you can work on the new song or you can help me bedazzle or paint this.
Yep. I mean, yeah, they'll have the choice.
I think at a point you're going to have like a showing. Like
yeah.
in Nashville, like with your art and everything.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Ronnie Woods from the Rolling Stones does it. Why can't you?
I mean, I could definitely do that, yeah.
Do a little, with the jackets and shirts and guitars.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're so thrilled to get you on the show finally, because I've been trying for a while.
Thank you.
And with a platinum album, with your #1 singles, you've accomplished so much so quickly.
Thank you.
But then again, you've been in Nashville, since 2015, so it's like you're an instant success, right?
Everybody thinks it's overnight when it's like, yeah. I mean, I really started coming here like 12 years ago, and I've been living in Nashville, I think, for almost 7 years. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's flown by, but at the same time, it's a grind, but it's definitely worth it.
Well, and I mean, you're so well known for your live shows too, and your fans love seeing you on the road. I want to make sure that everybody knows, with your website, social media, also to see bedazzled guitars and jackets.
Yeah.
Tenille, where do they need to go?
Just TenilleArts.com has got everything there. All of our shows are listed, and then of course Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of the places. They can find all of my music and, like you said, bedazzled things. I also have like a link on, because so many people were like obsessed with, my TikTok about making the guitars. So like I link how to make your own and like all of that kind of stuff, so people can get their stuff and make another guitar.
You have many talents.
Thank you.
And you'll be back on the road, obviously, with your PRS guitars, with your acoustics and electrics.
Yes.
And new songs. Are you trying out some of the new songs? Because I know, you've been in the studio, every time you come back to Nashville, you're laying down another track.
Definitely. Yeah, so we have some new stuff coming out really, really soon, and very excited about it. Trying them out in the live show and getting a great response so far. So it's a little bit secretive, but it'll happen.
And your videos are just over the top.
Oh, thank you.
It seems like you have so much fun. It's like you're hanging out with friends when you're doing the videos.
I love videos. It's kind of, growing up being, a little bit of an actress as well, or just being a little dramatic. I love doing music videos. That's like my favorite days are music videos, and getting to kind of see your song come to life in like a little mini movie. It's so much fun. So yeah, I love them.
Well, and it's not a bad deal either when you've been on The Bachelor 3 times. Yeah. I mean, once again, it's like you're going to be a regular now.
Oh, seriously, people are always like, oh, are you just like, are you their artist now? I've played on the show so many times, but that was awesome too. I mean, millions of people seeing your music for the first time. I still have fans that come up to me and are like, I heard my song, I Hate This, for the first time on that show, and then they've been following me ever since, and it's just so cool. You never think that'll be the thing that takes off, Never would have thought it would be a dating show, but here we are.
But once again, you as a little girl, learning piano and singing and everything, up in Canada, and then now you're on national TV shows.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, there's a lot of like pinch me moments that my family and I dreamed of a lot of these things happening, and we get to see them happen. And like even playing the Grand Ole Opry, like I had my whole family fly down, and it was just like incredible. One of those moments where it was like, okay, it was all worth it,
And more to come.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, be sure and follow her on the web, on social media. Check out the bedazzled jackets, guitars, but most of all, check out her incredible music and videos. Tenille Arts is on the road. You want to go see her live because you're going to love that most of all. And there's going to be more secretive new music coming out, so be sure and follow her.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Tenille. Thanks for watching the Rockin' Review.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.